Hey there, StarCraft fans. It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. And today, for your Sunday series, it is a best of 5 between Special and ShoWTimE. Starting with game number 1, here on Port Alexander the Ladder Edition. This is from WCS Spring, an excellent tournament. I'm not going to spoil any results for you in case you don't know what they are. Bottom right-hand corner for game number 1, we have the Red Protoss player hailing from Germany and Arma team. It is ShoWTimE. He is the best foreigner Protoss in the entire world, you guys. And in the top left-hand corner, we have the best Terran player from North America, and maybe the best Terran player who is not from Korea, Special. Hailing from Mexico. He is sporting the color blue. Is Special the best foreigner Terran? According to WCS standings, I kind of feel like he is. WCS SC2 standings. While stuff is happening here, obviously there's no proxies going on according to the minimap. But current standings here, according to WCS, yeah, he's the best Terran. So it's Cyril, and I mean, okay, so technically it's Neeb right now. But I just feel like ShoWTimE has just had the better calendar year. But yeah, it's gonna be Special. Time is up there as well. Hero Marine, Massa. I mean, there's a good number of Terrans that are up there as far as elite Terran talents that are foreigners. But I think Special's the best one. So I mean, this is going to be one heck of a series. We've just absolutely got two of the greatest players on planet Earth here going against each other in a TVP. In a situation where a lot of Terran players feel like Protoss is favored. But you know what? We play the games anyway, guys. So this Reaper's name is the Reaper. Death is not... Oh, let's get this guy. Death is not a hunter unbeknownst to its prey. One is always aware that it lies in wait. Though life is merely a journey to the grave, it must not be undertaken without hope. Memento Mori. I don't know who that is, but that's pretty profound. So this is the Reaper. He's going to try to get something done, but it's been a while since we've seen a Reaper get anything done against Protoss. It's just Adepts are out and Stalkers are out, and check this action. There we go. The Adept is out. The Reaper can't get through here. It's a great wall. And the Shade's going to chase the Reaper away. The Reaper gets a barely tiny bit of a scout here, recognizing that there obviously is a gateway and a cyber core, but he doesn't even know if there's an expansion yet. There is, because ShoWTimE plays as standard as any Protoss player I have honestly seen in my casting. I don't know if that's the German in him or what, but he never goes for proxies. He never goes for cannon rushes. He very rarely goes for like proxy Stargates or anything else. And in this probe, you'd think maybe it's a proxy Stargate, but no, it's just scouting for a quick third base. Is all it is. Adept tries to get up there, but lifting the wall. I really feel like Terran players practice that about 2 hours a day. They have one of their teammates send up an Adept Shade, and then they lift it at the last second. It's really a lot of fun to see that. I've never seen an Adept get in, is what I'm trying to say. Also, Zerglings. Zerglings counts don't happen. An Immortal at, 3 minutes, no big deal. Immortal, one of the best units in the game. Adepts and a probe trying to knock down this here natural base. But you know what? I'm going to say Marine and Hellion might be able to do something about this, but the control exhibited here by Special is fantastic, and they do chase it away. So one of the Adepts dies. I think maybe a Marine got killed. 2 Marines went down, but that's about it. So Special handling that like a pro. Just fantastic. Doesn't get a delay on the command center. Doesn't really lose any mining time too much at all. The Adepts show up, but one gets killed in the process. That is further harassment that's not going to be as viable for ShoWTimE. And he did, again, robotics facility opening, obviously because there's an Immortal Warp Prism here, 2 additional Warp Gates in production. He's working on that Warp Gate research. Reaper, the Reaper, he's got 2 kills. What has he killed? Did he get the kill on that Adept? He must have. He got the killing hit on the probe and that Adept, so nicely done. The Reaper making stuff happen here. Obviously in a defensive capacity, not so much in an offensive capacity, but still. Cloak Banshee here for Special. Cloak Banshee is one of his favorite things to do. The Reaper can't get through this wall. Is that just really a hard wall? Yeah, I guess ShoWTimE's going to have to shuttle his units out using the Warp Prism. And it looks like that's what he did. He shuttled people out or just warped them in on the field here. He's coming in for an attack. Special, I don't think he has any map awareness of this. That Hellion might have caught a glimpse of that Warp Prism. We'll see if he responds to this or not. And yeah, he's throwing up a supply depot to scout this. Or trying to. Man, that supply depot died the instant it got constructed, or like started getting constructed. That was insane. And ShoWTimE is showing up with a very impressive force. Special doesn't have much here, you guys. He has a handful of Marines versus this many Adepts and Stalkers and an Immortal. The Banshee is going to help immensely for ShoWTimE right now. I don't know if it's enough to actually win the thing, but... Oh, Widowmine taking out a Stalker was incredibly useful here too, pulling all of the SCVs, but so many are getting massacred. Special is taking a massive hit to his economy here, but a lot of Stalkers are going down. The Immortal's still alive, because again, Immortals are functionally immortal. The juggling by the Warp Prism is fantastic, because it's ShoWTimE juggling. And can he get some direct shots off on that tank? He's trying to with the Immortal, but the Banshee is a little bit too much, and ShoWTimE is forced to pull out. But that's 15 SCVs down. ShoWTimE has a 34-29 worker lead over Special right now. And sure, Mules are good, and Mules can help make up for that quite extensively, but still that hurts. You don't want to lose that many SCVs if you can help it. Where's the Immortal? The Immortal is left down here. He's got 5 kills, man. More Stalkers fighting. Picking off Marines. There's a Cyclone. Was that a Cyclone? I saw something hit that Warp Prism. It looked like a Cyclone attack, but then there wasn't a Cyclone, so I don't know. Cyclone really shuts down Warp Prisms, though. I mean, it makes it so they can't escape. And I'm surprised we haven't seen one out of Special right now, but... Going for a Viking, which is pretty useful, too. Tank on the high ground, pretty well placed, and that's a shot from that tank. That's what I'm talking about here. Immortal unloads. He's got 5 kills, but getting target fired by Marines is not where he wants to be, and the tank on the high ground is so well positioned. That Special seems to have hold. I mean, ShoWTimE is not done yet, I don't think, but Special seems to have solidified his position. He's doing all right. He's continuing to pump out Marines here for a time. Marines trade exceptionally well versus Immortals, especially at this stage, and against Stalkers, too, especially as the upgrades start to come in here for the Terran player, including Stim. So the Viking will shove away the Warp Prism. Banshee cruising on into the natural base way later than it wants to, but there's a shield battery here, and that means that you can't actually kill these probes, and the Banshee just leaves. You can't hit them hard enough and fast enough to actually kill them without the Warp Prism healing them beyond the damage you've already done. So that hurts. I mean, 1 Banshee, no. 2 Banshees, yes, but there's not actually another one on the field. Warp Prism getting tossed up inside the main base for Special. That will take out the Warp Prism if it does decide to wander on back here. I don't know where. I guess it's here. Yeah, has to knock down his own pylon to actually get out, as that is a hard wall. Banshee trying to get stuff done. Taking shots from Stalkers is not how you get stuff done, though. 10 HP left on that Banshee. Third base coming in now for ShoWTimE at about 7.5 minutes. And Special, any sign of a third base from him? Yes, third base command center coming up right now. Going for a Robotic Spay, we're seeing Charge. We are seeing +1 attack for ShoWTimE. Meanwhile, Special's got a Raven going for Marines and Marauders and Stim and +1 attack for his infantry. And he's going for the bio here, which is really standard against Protoss. We have seen players go into mech versus Protoss fairly recently. Maru, in particular, I don't know exactly how he makes it work. I need to investigate a little bit more, but it's insane. I mean, for so long, it was considered mech did not work against Protoss because Immortals are a thing. And Immortals wreck Thors, and they wreck tanks, and they wreck Cyclones. And, I mean, what else do you want to do if you're mech going against a Protoss player, right? So, Colossus on the way and Extended Thermal Lance. I mean, ShoWTimE, rather, has just started doing everything against Terran. I kind of want to call it like a kitchen sink offense where he just makes every single unit that's possibly available to him. We might see some disruptors in here, too. He doesn't go crazy with Immortals or Charge Lots or Stalkers. It's just little handfuls of everything, which, again, is a Maru thing he does with Terran. So I don't know if he's getting inspired by Maru, but if he is, that's pretty cool. To look across at a different race and how someone else is playing them, and then make it work for you, you know, as a Protoss when you're watching a Terran. ShoWTimE's that good, is all I'm trying to say. He is that good of a player. He is just precise. He's wonderful. The decision-making is great. He never makes mistakes with his micro from what I've seen. Hard for him to be surrounded by anybody. But here comes a drop. Special's coming in. He's going to try to land a third base at some point once he upgrades that to an orbital command. Marines, Marauders, Ravens, Banshees cruising out across the map here too. Raven, yes. Reaper here. My brain's like, that's an R thing, right? That's clearly a Raven. No, brain, it's not. Just isn't. Stop making things up here. The same Banshee? I don't know. That probably is the same Banshee. Let's find out real quick. There is 1 Banshee on the field, and none have died. So that's a repaired Banshee. Back for more. But again, you can't do anything because shield battery exists. Actually, you know what? Out of range of the shield battery on that back line. That's pretty good. Pretty good distraction there. And I think the drop should move in now, although ShoWTimE doing a great job splitting his defensive units here. There's a bit of a drop here in the main. Gets shut down quite nicely, because again, Special didn't send all of his units across the map, but look at him coming home. No. I don't think you have to come home here. Just send the Raven or the Viking to take down that Warp Prism, and you'll be just fine. You're probably going to get recalled out of there, and there it is. There's the recall, but Special seems like a mistake for Special, man. You can't go home. You were in a great position to do multiple pronged threats there to ShoWTimE. And he just let ShoWTimE get a 4th base. Instead, the attack is going to be later now. Templar Archives coming on in. Blink's going to be done. That's going to be really useful for ShoWTimE, too. So we see coming on about 10 seconds left to go on that right side. Liberators in production for Special. Could be pretty good, too. And some Zealots coming up and around for an attack into the 3rd base, which is not, by the way, a planetary fortress. It's just an orbital command. And as a result, it's a little bit flimsy. That's a canceled 4th base if I've ever seen one. Although, I don't know, Colossus coming up your backside, and never mind. Special drops inside the main base. He's going to depower these warp gates, take down an Immortal, and depower the robotics facility. Not too shabby here. This drop from Special getting some work done. Pylon down, going after the Nexus now, and the Protoss army is out of position. They're trying to wander on back, but they just used a recall, and that cooldown is not up yet. The Templar Archives get sniped down. That's hugely important. And he picks up and gets out with most everybody. What? No, he stopped for a second. Stopped for a second there. I don't know what that was. I don't know why he didn't just boost out immediately. Zealots going for the counterattack to the 3rd base, but there's actually reinforcing defending units here. And the Zealots have to retreat. That was a major, major victory from Special. Charge lots on top of some Immortals and some Marauders and Marines that are out of position and very injured, and as a result, they retreat from that. For sure. The good news is ShoWTimE did keep his 4th base after I called it the most dead 4th base in the history of the world. I was completely wrong about that. Liberators from Special cruising on out. Whoa! Reaper's down. The Reaper is out. ShoWTimE decides to go for it. He doesn't have Storm. All he has are these Archons and these Colossus. Is it going to be enough here? Blinking on top of the tanks. The tanks are down, but 2 more tanks on the high ground are happening. Liberators going to town on these mineral lines at the same time. Back on the other side of the map, the Marines are just getting torched by these Colossus. I think this 3rd base is toast. At the very least, it is lifted off here. Liberator destroyed by some Stalkers. Trying to head up to the 4th base, but the Liberator might sneak down to the 3rd base while they're in the wrong position. Colossus kiting. 7 kills on that one. 18 kills on that Colossus. The big ticket items for Protoss are good ticket items for Protoss. Did that Liberator get killed? Where did you go, guy? Girl, I guess. No Liberators remaining. I guess it must have tried to swing back around and the Stalkers took care of it. Unfortunate. This 3rd base was open for the pickings there. So pretty darn great game number 1 thus far. And honestly, these little 12 to 15 minute games can be as exciting as like the 35, 40 minute games that a lot of you like to click, I know, because those get the biggest view counts. So keep that in mind. If you see a game that's only maybe 20 minutes or 15 minutes, like give it a try. These games can be really action-packed, even in that little limited amount of time here. Unloading a ton of bio. There is not enough here to defend against this at all. And the charge lots, maybe, but positioning themselves into a corner where the charge lots aren't nearly as effective. Tacking on up to the 4th base here with some Marines and Marauders. Once again, the Colossus come and chase them away. Colossus chasing away this medevac here, too. And the Marines and Marauders are just not making it happen here. Did we replace the Templar Archives? Actually, no. ShoWTimE has not bothered to do that at this stage. He is working on upgrades. He is working on that 2-2. And it will be done here shortly. Meanwhile, 1-1 is complete. 2-2 on the way for Special. He's lagging a little bit behind on the upgrades. But again, Chrono Boost is pretty good. And can help with those upgrade timings for Protoss for sure. ShoWTimE warping in a 5th base while Special doesn't quite have a 4th base yet. 5th base here for the Protoss. And is he lifting over his main? Yeah, he's lifting over his main for this one. Army supply, 85 to 84. Pretty darn even. ShoWTimE has a massive economic lead with 78 to 54 workers. Even with mules, you can tell here the minerals per minute is definitely favoring ShoWTimE pretty substantially. And gas income here too. A little bit, almost, wow, like 30% more here for ShoWTimE, which is great. There's Storm. Okay, so replacement Templar Archives was coming in somewhere. I don't know where he hit it. Back here in the natural base, Storm is being Chrono Boost, +3 attacks on the way. And this is coming into the late game right now, you guys. Zealots trying to sneak around and see what they can find in the bottom section here. Tank count pretty nice considering how many have gone down so far. Only 3 tanks have been lost. I'm surprised by that. So how many of you guys have kills? One of you has like a kill, so never mind. Not impressed with you at all. Special said, you know what I've gotten great success in doing recently is dropping inside the main base. And by recently, I mean the entire game. Once again, no planetary fortress at the 4th means charge lots are here. Nobody's inside the bunker because it's not done yet. And nobody's going to get inside the bunker either, unfortunately, as the attention is over here inside the main base. Dropping, and once again, Colossus shows up. And charge lots, and that might just be a reason to get on out, honestly. But no, they're staying in. They're overstaying their welcome, I feel like. There you go. Now getting the heck on out of there. Defensive Liberator finally saves the day. Using Defender mode in a Defender position, which we don't see a whole lot. And here we go. Stalkers, Colossus, Sentries in here for Force Fields and Guardian Shield. Single Zealot wanders up to the 4th base and just kill the Marine, dude. There we go. One-shots the Marine with his +2 attack. Hack, hack. 2 attacks there, by the way. Going after a bunch of SCVs, slowing down that gas income for Special. Really important stuff here. Although not as much, I guess, since Marines are a large part of Special's composition here. Meanwhile, force fielding in a tank and a bunch of Marines and Marauders. Just fantastic force fields. Kept, unfortunately, a Stalker in there, too. I think it's wiped out as a result. You just want to ignore the tanks if you're ShoWTimE. Just kind of dance about them. You really don't want to have to get in there and get your hands dirty on that tank count. Blinking in to the 4th base. Full evacuation here. He's getting out before the Stalkers can take down that orbital command. +3 attack is done. +3 armor is just about done. Tanks on the high ground. Once again, you ignore the tank's 5th base. Under attack by Special here on the north side. And a recall saves the day. Oh, it's a lot of dead stuff down there. These +3 Colossus are tearing through this bio like they are made of butter. That's a lot of overstimmed bio here, but the tanks are the thing. The tanks are really keeping Special alive here. Anytime the tanks show up, ShoWTimE withdraws. That Nexus is alive. Are you kidding me? Special has had Nexus is dead to rights a couple times today, and just not a problem at all for ShoWTimE. He's keeping it. He's going for Shadow Stride, which is weird. I don't know that I've seen ShoWTimE go for Shadow Stride maybe ever in my entire casting career, but he's working on it. It's a very long upgrade. It allows Dark Templar to basically blink onto their targets. It's good, but not so good we see it all the time. More Prism. Going for that warp in, but there are enough Marines here. Oh, just unloading the DT, but the scan keeps the DT out of there. Natural base, maybe a better target now. Still threatening on up to the 5th base of ShoWTimE. We got some bio sneaking up there. DTs hacking away at supply depots, but the scan is real, and the DTs are going to go down. The Nexus finally, it's going to fall here to Special's attack. There we go. There was a second. Oh, the storms are good, and they do chase them away. DTs going after the armory. Maybe to prevent +3 attack from being researched, you do need an armory for that. And supply depots here too. We are just kind of living inside the main base of Special right now with Dark Templar and Zealots. Another scan is available. Thank goodness for that. That's why you have the orbital commands. Engineering Bay getting hacked down too, so the +3 attack is even harder to get. And ShoWTimE will enjoy this upgrade advantage for quite some time here. So by golly, we are 18 minutes into this game. Who has the advantage? ShoWTimE's up 120 to 103. Special is technically supply blocked with the deaths of some of these supply depots that we've seen and just continuing to make stuff. Kind of a double-edged sword there, but time for Special to push. He did take down the 5th base. That was a major victory, but this is just like everybody going for it now. The tank count is huge. The tank count is really, really good. Are we base racing? ShoWTimE's out of position. It doesn't seem like he's interested in coming back home. I mean, recall is definitely a thing, but ShoWTimE going to lose this Nexus for sure, and I know I've said that a couple times and been wrong today. But there are too many tanks and too many Marines and Marauders to keep this one alive, and it does end up going down. Special's 3rd base is under attack by a couple Stalkers. Dark Templar, again, with Shadow Stride of all things. And yeah, we are officially base racing right now. They say never base race a Terran, but I don't know. Special taps out anyway, and ShoWTimE gets the win in game 1 of our best of 5. 19 minutes and 34 seconds into the game. There was too much. There were too many bases for him to kill, too many buildings to worry about, and he was crammed into this little corner with pretty much the entire Protoss army in here. All of his SCVs were trapped in here. There really wasn't much left in the main base after some of the attacks that him previously, so he could have played it out, but he decided that in the end, it wasn't going to be worth it, and that was it. So game 1 does go to the Protoss player in a really hard-fought match. Again, I just love how ShoWTimE got the upgrade advantage. He never engaged with the tanks. As soon as the tanks fired, he just pulled out and went somewhere else. That's how you have to deal with them as Protoss. You really don't have a great way to deal with it unless they're Tempests. Unless you switch over to Carrier, but there's enough Marines on the ground that Carrier not going to be a great idea. Tempest either. Let's be honest with it. Let's be honest with ourselves there. So fantastic play. These Colossus, I feel like, yeah, 34 kills, 2 kills, what? And 10 kills on you. 28 kills that one. So the Colossus, how many died in this game? Let's find out real quick. Really 0. Wow. That is some babysitting those Colossus. 0 Colossus die. 124 Marines, 48 Marauders, 6 tanks went out, and there were, I mean, how many remaining? 16, so not a huge number there. 3 Nexuses killed, and only 1 Orbital Command destroyed. So usually if you win that battle, it's good for you as a Terran, but the base race was not in your favor. So that's game 1, you guys. I mean, we are in for some serious play here today. What did I tell you? What did I tell you about the series? This could be a good one, so let's go ahead and head on into game number 2, and we'll be right back with that. Game 2 of our best of 5 will be on King's Cove, special top left, ShoWTimE bottom right once again. Same spawning positions. It's going to be another great game between these 2 players. Man, I love StarCraft. I like it so very, very much. I've loved it ever since 1997 when StarCraft 1 came out. Or 1998. Good times. Good times had by us. All right. Well, it's going to be more PvT here. It's really just going to be more ShoWTimE doing everything, man. We could see some Tempest in here. Could see some Disruptors. I mean, pretty much everything but Void Ray, because Void Ray is just bad against Terran no matter what they're doing, honestly. I mean, I guess decent against battle cruisers, but we're probably not going to see those from Special here. But yeah, that's got to hurt. Your game 1 is a 20-minute slugfest that you just end up losing because a base race went wrong. I mean, it was just kind of ShoWTimE picking Special apart throughout most of the game there, ending with that slug at the end, where Special doesn't have much, and ShoWTimE had a ton of aces, and that's kind of it. But yeah, did you know there's a podcast that I do every week with Somicron, who is an Australian? We have special guests like Fatty TV. We've had Pig on there. We've had Zombie Grub as a guest too. So search up Falcon Paladin in your podcast app for a weekly podcast with me and Somicron. We talk about video games and TV shows and StarCraft and GSL. I'm like, how come there's so many Protoss in GSL? And we try to figure stuff out. It's great. It's a good time. So if you want more Falcon Paladin in your life, there's a lot of it already, I know. But if you want more, search for the podcast and you can find it pretty darn easily. I've done this myself, you guys. Zealot first from ShoWTimE. What is that? Why? Oh, he was worried about a proxy barracks. It's here. So it's not really that much closer. I don't think he needed to go for a Zealot there. So he cancels the Zealot and just starts an Adept. So Zealot moving out. Zealot's name for this match is Jussie Smollett, once a famous and openly gay actor. He staged a fake Protoss attack in which the alleged attackers yelled, "This is our country." After discovering the hoax, he was conscripted into the DAF as punishment, where he now has to contend not only with a strain of interstellar space combat, but also homophobic hostility from other DAF personnel. Bad times for Jussie Smollett there. He's been out of the news a little bit here, but when this was submitted, he was kind of all the rage. Anyway, Probe does see the barracks go back inside the main base. It's a Hellion follow-up here too, worried about Adept Harass. We've seen this game before. Reaper here defending. Is that another Reaper? It's 2 Reapers. Okay. So this Reaper's kind of waiting for the Adept to move out, and then he'll juke back in. Just the fact that the Reaper is here, it keeps the Adept at home, and it means Special doesn't have to worry about stuff. That is natural. I'm liking this play. I really like this a lot. And now you can be the aggressor with a couple Reapers and a Hellion versus a single Adept. Kind of like Special's odds here. Let's see if he can get this done. And is he just going out? He's just going straight after these probes, man. I think Jussie Smollett just died. which is bad. So he gets a couple probes, but loses both Reapers, and the Hellion takes a shot. So I don't know. Is that worth it? The math says 200 resources lost for Special and 150 for ShoWTimE. So I'm going to have to say that Special did not come out on top there, but killing probes is more important than killing other stuff. So I don't know. The Reaper's not going to have all that much utility throughout the rest of the game, whereas the probes definitely will. So I think maybe Special came out on top. It's close. It's close. Cloak Banshee here on the way from Special. Also getting a Cyclone, which again I think would have been nice to have in the opening stages of Game 1. Just to deal with the Warp Prism a little bit. Because that Warp Prism comes in, you lock onto that thing, and it cannot escape. It will die before it escapes the lock-on radius. So it really makes harassing hard against Terran if they've got one of those boys. So I like that Special's going for that early, just making sure that he has it, and just the fact that it is a robotics facility opening indicates that we're probably going to see some more Warp Prism stuff. There's really no reason not to make them as Protoss. They take quite a bit of micro, and they are a little bit flimsy, but they are just really worth their weight in gold for sure. Engagement in the middle. This Hellion is running. Shades are about the same speed, though. Doesn't get the shot off. Hellion does manage to outdistance just a tiny little bit there. Observer cruises on in to the main base. Sees the third base under construction. Is going to probably scout. Yep, does scout the starport here with the tech lab. Researching. Probably going to be Cloak Banshee. So a shield battery. One shield battery, honestly, will be enough to deal with that. And then maybe Observer Stalker here to defend two. Cannons, not so much. We don't see ShoWTimE go for cannons all that much. Just defends with his army, and it seems to work out pretty well for him. So all the gas in the world now coming in for Special, working on a Raven, which really pretty useful in a lot of different ways here. Banshee gets chased away by a hallucinated Phoenix. ShoWTimE's warping into third base of his own, going for charge, going for Immortals, and again, throwing up those shield batteries. Just nice for harassment in general to have those batteries ready to go. Still no Warp Prism. We have seen a lot of stuff come out of that robotics facility. 4 observers, man. ShoWTimE really wants to know what's going on, really wants to be prepared for Cloak Banshees. And I like how this Phoenix is not harming the Banshee, but just really keeping an eye on it and knowing exactly where it is at all times, which is kind of hilarious. Observer sets up in observation mode. Raven and Cyclone, they are looking for observers. That's what this team up is all about, and they're going to find one right there. Oh, Observer runs for it. The lock on. No, the Cyclone is fast. And there it is. 1, 2, 3 down. That is such a good Observer hunting little crew right there. Just a single Cyclone and a Raven. It's all you need, guys. Got to be active with it, but definitely worth its weight in gold to kill an Observer like that at this stage of the game. ShoWTimE making additional gateways. He's working on High Templar, turning them into Archons. Finally, a Warp Prism coming in. But I think he recognizes the Cyclone's out, so he's not going to try what he tried in game number 1. Special effectively deflected it just by making a single unit. Banshee does manage to kill a couple probes, but ends up getting killed in the process. Probably not a fair trade when all things are said and done. That's why you need... Ooh, it's actually a cannon. Remember how I said we don't see cannons all that much from ShoWTimE? Well, there's one. Actually going for Magfield Accelerator. Special going for more Cyclones. Is he? He's doing the mech thing. Remember where I said the mech thing was not really a thing? Until Maru started doing it. Special has started to mimic it as well here. He's got tanks. He's got Cyclone. He's got Hellions. He's producing Cyclones and Hellions. It's kind of a race car mech thing with some tank support. Kind of like it. ShoWTimE might try to shut this thing down early before it gets too out of hand, as the number of Cyclones can be problematic, but I think what he needs here are Immortals. I'm going to be honest with you. Just mass Immortal can handle this pretty darn effectively. Lock on an Archon is not... There we go. Stalker a better target as that bonus damage versus Armored comes into play. Archons are not armored. Stalkers are. But if you have to lock on to something, you might as well lock on to an Archon. It's not a big deal. If there's nothing really else to focus on there. Infernal Pre-Igniter coming in from Special, and yeah, definitely the factory count is benefiting this mech strategy and making it possible here. The thing is, kind of makes you passive for a little bit. ShoWTimE has not really been bothered other than by that one Banshee. He is happily sitting on about 60, there we go, 66 worker, Special's on 72. And he's got the mules here, so the income favoring Special here. I kind of like what he's doing. Immortal in production, Blink coming into. And both players just kind of doing a bit of a dance right now. Nobody feels like they have the upper hand. Nobody feels really comfortable about attacking. Hallucinated Phoenix confirms it is mech, by golly. And let's see if that changes ShoWTimE strategy at all. Not really. He just has pretty much the same composition. That is scary how even that is, honestly. Anyway, yeah, chasing on in, going for the flank attack. Archon's getting some shots off. Charge lots, chasing. Blue Flame, trying to get rid of them as well. And you can't really run from Cyclones, it turns out. They will lock onto you and they will chase you into the depths of hell. But if you stop and turn around, it is problematic there as well. So, I mean, it's going to be an interesting back and forth dance right now. Raven gets wrecked there. Cyclone gets destroyed. Army supply is 80 to 67. Special has a lead for sure. But a lot of these units are bigger ticket ones for ShoWTimE. He's got the Archon count. He's ready to go. Blue Flame Hellions trying to find somewhere to go to attack. And I'll see how they do with a shield battery present. Immortal tracks the units but doesn't actually fire on them because he can't fire while moving. Hellions trying to get on in. There is a cannon present. Zealot's kind of blocking the Hellions' attempts to get in. Nice warp in. Dang it. ShoWTimE, you are so good at this game. Warps in. No probes die. No probes die to that attack. Despite not really having anything in defensive position to save it, he warps some stuff in. Very nicely done. Colossus in production here. Ton of Widow Mines. Yeah! Evaporating an Archon and an Observer. Man, the lock-on. You can break the lock-on with the War Prism if you're good at juggling, and ShoWTimE is one of the best jugglers on planet Earth here, so he knows what he's doing. Going for a couple Colossus. Does he have extended thermal lance? No, and he's not researching it either, which is always weirds me out when I see Protoss players going for multiple Colossus with no extended thermal lance, because it's a good upgrade, I guess. Fourth base here, protected by literally nothing. These probes are in trouble. Yeah, getting roasted up. Stalker's trying to come in and deal with this, and yeah, that'll do. That will do. 4 probes down, but otherwise nothing really lost there. Special pushing out with his big, scary Hellion Cyclone army. And that goes pretty well for ShoWTimE. I want to say, he took out a bunch of Cyclones there, lost some Zealots, but they're basically free units at this stage anyway. The Colossus are here, once again, without Extended Thermal Lance. It's getting started now, but it's late. I wonder if ShoWTimE forgot about it. Seems like that is a big thing to forget in a situation like this. You need as much range as possible versus these Cyclones. Trying to blink away from Widow Mine shots here. Just dancing over the Widow Mines and trying to pick up as much up as possible. Trying to make good trades. That's what Special is all about here. Lock on the... Lock on the War Prism. Threatening this base a little bit. Shield batteries getting drained immensely. And now the tanks are here. And now I don't think ShoWTimE can allow those tanks to siege up, man. I really don't think he can, but he does. But he does. And now ShoWTimE has to go. He either sacks this base or he goes, and that's a sack. I think that's it. I think this base is done for now. ShoWTimE going for it. Can't go for it. Too many tanks. No extended thermal lance. The hatchery is getting rocked by a lock-on, and that's it. There's your sacked base. Bam. Special gets a major victory. First blood. First base taken down here. Army supply 123 to 104. I've played against this strategy before, you guys. Azurg, it is frustrating as heck to deal with. Really don't like it very much. Especially with someone who has the control and the micro to do it. And some players in Diamond 2 are capable of it. Disruptors, not bad. Big time hit there on a couple of Widow Mines and a tank. Not enough to kill it, obviously, but wounding it quite nicely here. Extended Thermal Lance is finishing. There it is. Done, and that's going to help immensely here for ShoWTimE for sure. Got a base coming up the right side, a replacement 4th base, where Special is happily still on 4 bases and taking a 5th base now. This strategy is working pretty darn well for Special, you guys. I'm really, really impressed by this. Charging on in from both angles. The Colossus with their range doing much better than in previous engagements. And wow, ShoWTimE crushed that engagement. Special in full retreat. 90 to 78 army supply. That was a big turnaround for sure. And that Widow Mine survives. Never mind, Observer came back to kill it. Nicely done. Vehicle plating, level 2 coming in. Weapons finishing up 2. 5th base done. Special not allowed to have a 5th base. It wasn't even under finished constructing yet. Disruptor, you have any kills, guy? 9 kills is not bad for a Disruptor. Colossus, 5 kills, 1 kill there, 7 kills there. There is a bit of a blue flame run by on the right side. Getting cleaned up by Stalkers again, but taking several probes with it. Attacking on in here with the Colossus. Nice interference matrix on 2 of the Colossus, so they can't fire, and now ShoWTimE is the one who has to pull back. That interference matrix doesn't last forever, but it is enough to make you pull back. SCVs chasing after the army, not a good place to be, guys. You want to be mining or doing building stuff, not attacking into Colossus. It is a bad place for sure. +2/+2 is done. Now for ShoWTimE, no 3-3 for him, though. This is uncharacteristically late on his 3-3. Maybe he feels like he doesn't need it. Maybe he's done the math and feels like he doesn't need it versus this particular strategy, but it would seem weird to me. I mean, Special's going for 3-3 for his mech, so you'd think that would be the case. Special making a 5th base up here towards the northern section of the map. Stalker's trying to take that thing down before it finishes, but the army shows up, and the Stalkers are not really equipped to deal with the entire army, as it turns out. Widowmine getting a free Stalker there for sure, and just planting Widowmines in random spots around the map is not a bad idea at all. You're doing huge amounts of damage anyway. Recall back to deal with more Hellion harassment, and Special's done a much better job killing probes in this game. He's killed 34, and only 4 SCVs have died. 70-62 on that worker count lead. Special is on 5 bases. ShoWTimE is on 5 as well. Well, warping into 5th base anyway to replace the one he had to sack earlier here. Blue Flame Hellions again. I mean, this is how you play mech, apparently, versus Protoss as well as Zerg, is you just kind of send Blue Flame Hellions in from time to time to different bases. Liberator harass, too. Forcing all the probes away from this 5th base, which is really, really annoying stuff. Stalker's getting some free shots off. Again, no +3 attack here. First Stargate of the game from ShoWTimE. I'm not sure what that's going to be. Maybe Tempest to deal with the Liberators, but he is far away from that Tempest tech. I'm not sure he can get there before this game is over. Liberator hiding back there. I guess maybe to deal, yeah, with the Liberators. He doesn't have anything to kill it otherwise. He needs a Stargate for that, at the very least. Colossus count getting a little bit scary here. 6 kills, 12 kills on these guys, paying for themselves to some extent. And just, I think he's just waiting for the Stargate to finish so we can make a fleet beacon so we can start Tempest production, but it's just late. It is, I don't know if it's, again, if it's going to be enough to deal with the Liberators. That Special is maxed out. He has a big, scary tank army. Cyclones, Hellions, Liberators. I don't know that ShoWTimE can dislodge this once it has been lodged with tanks in siege position. This is, I mean, we saw how much he avoided the tank lines in game number 1, and when the tanks are in an offensive position, it's even worse, rather than when they're in a defensive position. Once again, this 5th base gets wiped out pretty darn easily by these tanks. Again, they got the 3-3. Scary stuff. Trying to pick out some reinforcements, but oh, the Liberators getting some free shots off on these Colossus, getting out of the circles as fast as they can. Got some supporting Archons here a little bit. But, I mean, Special just wiped out an entire base while expanding again and double expanding on top of that. 19 probes have gone down. This is kind of falling apart for ShoWTimE here. He wasn't given the time to go for Tempest. He didn't scout the Liberators, and they're really causing him some trouble right now. Cyclone takes down a Colossus. Not something you see every day of the week. And yeah, Special's just pretty happily, well, I was going to say happily expanding, but no, ShoWTimE is shutting those down quite nicely here. Flank attack onto those tanks, not going to happen. I think there are just too many tanks here. Disruptors maybe can get some stuff done, but another base might go down. Liberators denying reinforcements from even getting in here, and ShoWTimE is in full base race mode. He does take down a planetary fortress up here in the north, but he's going to lose another nexus to the south here. Several bases of his have been killed now, 3 total. 1 twice, and 1 another time here. Special. He might end up losing this command center again, and you know what? We might be starving each other out here. Just making sure there are no new sources of income for anybody. Kind of leave it to like a 1 base mining economy style situation here. There's a cancel on that command center. That's what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about here. Army supply 138 to 113. Special has a massive lead. It's a very weird... We're just attacking and defending on both fronts right now. Requires a lot of decent micro here. ShoWTimE coming home, going for that surround on these tanks, boy. To get these tanks unsieged. There was a second there. He's going for the surround. This is a very Zerg way to deal with this. Colossus get wrecked, though. Archons and Zealots and Stalkers on top of this army. Are you kidding me? ShoWTimE does it, loses almost everything, and it's a 106 to 32 army supply right now. Special is ready to rock. He's got Hellbats in the mix. ShoWTimE is making 2 disruptors at a time. He does not have the bank to replace his army, and I think that's it. I think Special has won this match. Yes, he wiped out that tank army, but now here comes another one. Special's macro has always been insane. And that's it. Good game. Special wins game number 2. ShoWTimE taps out quite nicely. And we have ourselves a series, ladies and gentlemen. It is officially a 1-2-1 scenario. Ooh, good stuff. Good stuff for sure. Really, really liking this stuff. This is some amazing PvT. I'm really, really enjoying it. Yeah, I mean, it just came down to the tanks were able to set up in an offensive position, wiped out this base twice, wiped out this base once. And sure, there were some command centers killed on the other side of the map here from time to time, but overall, way too many battles where ShoWTimE just ended up losing things. All of his Colossus went down. Sure, he wiped out Special's army, but he didn't have the income to replace it. Not even in the teeniest and tiniest of bits, and that was your game. So, Planetary Fortress, 2 command centers, and Orbital Command went down too. I mean, again, ShoWTimE gave as good as he got, but in the end, all 5 Colossus died, all 5 Disruptors went down, all 3 Immortals, 53 Zealots. And how many Cyclones were killed? 30 Cyclones. That's a big number of Cyclones to lose there, but in the end, Special could afford it. And he made it happen. So, geesh, making it happen versus Protoss. First one of the games I've cast where this has been a thing versus Protoss, and it worked out. So, GG there. We're not done yet. We're going to move into a game number 3 here of this best of 5. Stick with me. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Kairos Junction, the ladder edition. Gonna be game 3. All right. Special again, top left. ShoWTimE, bottom right. If these are random spawns, it's kind of weird, but random is not what humans think it is sometimes. Oh, hang on a second. This SCV has some mischief in mind. What are we seeing? Proxy barracks as begun. Probe's going to scatter around for this. It's a very nice place to hide it. You can't see anything. You can come all around this outside. Unless you go into this little cove, you're not going to see this thing. It's a very well placed. And I think ShoWTimE might know this. Is he going to find it? He going to find it? He's trying to find it. Oh my gosh, ShoWTimE, you're so good at this game. Boom. Shut down. Special's proxy is done, and this hurts him immensely. The SCV is getting shot at. Oh, he's not as safe as he thought he was. Special is canceling and then coming back on to try to find different angles. Try to make this work. Can he finish it before the probe zaps him down? No! No! It is at 933 HP. Almost there, but almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, as my grandpa always used to say. But hey, what? A second SCV made it in. Escape notice of the probe, and now this is actually going to finish. All right. Well, that's a Reaper. Reaper's name is Kaladin Stormblessed, and no longer content with protecting Bridge 4 on Roshar, Kaladin takes to the stars to protect his SCVs against the Protoss. When not killing Protoss, he likes to brood, eat Horn-Eater stew, and complain about light eyes. Yes, I know these are references to Brandon Sanderson series, The Stormlight Archives. I love the Stormlight Archives. Kaladin is one of my favorite characters in all of fiction because he's a paladin and because I love the paladin archetype, obviously, as I'm Falcon Paladin. But yeah, man, I don't know that I recommend starting the Stormlight Archives. It's going to be a 10-book series, and there's only 3 books out now, and it's going to take a while. So read other Brandon Sanderson stuff, though. I really enjoy the Mistborn series. I really enjoy Warbreaker. I liked the Reckoners were okay. Anyway, Sanderson stuff is all pretty good anyway. Kaladin's trying to get out, and one more shot. Oh, that Adept went into attack animation and didn't quite finish it there. So 0 kills on the Reaper. ShoWTimE was ready for it. He delayed it enough to where he was fine, and the proxy fails. So now Special moving on in to another setup here, where he's got a Hellion once again to deal with annoying Adepts that are wandering across the map, and Kaladin does manage to stay alive here, but single Adepts versus this, not really going to work out. Adept does get the heck out of there. Zealot, maybe. And Stalker, yes. Okay, this is what I like to see. I love to see this whole Zealot Stalker pressure stuff. Takes me way back to the days of Brood War, when this was totally a thing and still is a thing in certain scenarios. Chasing him in, and that's a delay. That's a delay on the command center here. ShoWTimE is turnabouting here. Getting some free shots off on this command center. I love the Zealot animation. He's like, hack, slash, hack, slash. The Hellion has to harass here because otherwise this command center is just going to die. I don't know if there's any saving it. There's a Cyclone coming in here. The saving grace is that this is, there we go, is that this doesn't burn. And the Cyclone shows up. And everybody gets the heck on out of there. The Zealot is trying to get some extra shots off on the command center. Can't quite do it, but that's a very, very bruised CC. And as a result, I think ShoWTimE is in a pretty good position to snipe it if he wants to a little bit later on. This is going to finish, but it's only going to have about half of the HP that it normally has. Unless, obviously, it's repaired by Special, which he might do. He is one of those players who will repair his units. But yeah, Stalkers versus this? Gonna chase that back. So Special goes from the aggressor to the defender here, pulling back to the natural base. There's a tank already out, though. Remember when tanks had to research siege mode in StarCraft 2? That was a thing. And a lot of Terrans kept dying to stuff, and as a result, it didn't work out super duper well. Stalker's going for it, but when there's a tank present, it's just not going to work. It's just not going to be a thing, is all. Robotics Bay on the way here from ShoWTimE. Reaper's trying to hop up. Nice block. Fantastic block here. Kaladin trying to make stuff happen, but not as easy as other Reapers make it look sometimes in my lower level games that I cast. Hey, did you know I cast bonus StarCraft 2 content out on patreon.com/FalconPaladin for everybody who supports me for $1 a month? Do you want more professional StarCraft 2 than I'm giving you right now? Patreon.com/FalconPaladin. $1 a month is the minimum pledge. That's all it takes. As both Reapers go down. Sorry, Kaladin. And you get access to that extra StarCraft 2 replay. Good stuff, guys. There is an amazing, amazing replay up from last week between, I want to say it's Clem and ShoWTimE, maybe? It's a great PvT anyway. If you're enjoying this one, you'll probably like that one as well. Dun, 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 dun. Hellions cruising around left side, or right side rather. Left side is going to be a Liberator here. ShoWTimE just pushing up the middle with the Stalkers. Does he have Blink yet? Nope. Regular old Stalkers. Colossus with Extended Thermal Lance coming in now. And Special looking scary all of a sudden. Got some SCVs for repair. This is a big Marine tank army. And I don't know that ShoWTimE has what he needs to deal with it. The Colossus are going to be really, really useful. Oh, he didn't pick up the Stalker in time. Immortal trying to get some shots off on those tanks, but the Marine count is so high. Yeah, Special has a 41-31 army lead. It's not insanely huge, but it's enough of a lead to be terrifying. At this stage of the game anyway, the tanks set up. What does ShoWTimE have to deal with this? Liberator in the mix here too. Are you kidding me right now? 5 probes got killed from Liberator harass. Warp gate out. Shield battery done as soon as it shows up, effectively. Oh man, this is one heck of a siege. More units are here. ShoWTimE, he's got his Colossus, but that tank count is actually kind of insane. Special, is he going to come back from losing that proxy? Oh, the bunkers are on the way. ShoWTimE cannot let those bunkers come up. He can't do it. Another gateway goes down. Another shield battery goes down. And countering here with a War Prism and this Immortal, ShoWTimE trying to make something happen. Repair on that tank is extremely important. The bunkers are going to finish. Robotics facility getting focused down a little bit. It does end up going down here. Colossus are fighting against the oncoming onslaught. Warp Prism actually coming back home as this is getting scarier and scarier. Bunker finishes, but the Colossus can't outrange it and cause major problems there. Depowering this Warp Gate. How many functioning Warp Gates are there? There are 5 Warp Gates total, but only 3 of them are working right now for ShoWTimE. Engagement in the middle here. Warp Prism juggling, trying to make stuff happen, but there's just too much army from Special. ShoWTimE trying for the special tactics, but his natural base goes down. I think that's the death knell. I think Special, after going down 0-1 in this series, is going to take a 2-1 lead here. The game is not over yet. Nobody's GG'd. I understand that. And ShoWTimE is still trying to do stuff on the other side of the map here with a few units, but Special's macro has just been too good. His income is insanely good right now, and ShoWTimE has lost his natural base. Adepts trying to make something happen. Immortal juggling, trying to do something here too, but SCV's in the mix. Liberator at the same time. Everybody dies over here. This Immortal has been immortal. He's got 5 kills, which is nice. The Contain is not really bothering to push in right now. Special knows ShoWTimE is on 1 base, and a 1 basing Protoss versus a 2 basing Terran is not where you want to be. Not even if you are the best foreigner Protoss in the entire world, as ShoWTimE happens to be. Cybernetics core Myco down, which is really brutal. I mean, ShoWTimE's been on his back foot for so long. He's trying to shuttle units down here so he can attack from an angle where he doesn't have to go through bunkers first. But I don't know. There's a lot of Marines. There's a lot of tanks. I mean, it's 76 to 51 army supply. Special has steadily been increasing that lead. He's just base racing. I can't dislodge these tanks, he says. Let's just go. Let's try to sneak out here, out the back door, and see if Special recognizes what's going on. I won a base race previously. These Marines are in a little bit of trouble. Oh, actually dodging the Marines. He wants it to be a surprise. He wants the base race to be a surprise to Special. Like a birthday present. That is you losing your dog. Not good. Losing your dog is a sad thing. Ah, he knows. He's heading back now. I think he's scanned. So he's aware, but man, this is a pretty entrenched position here too. All right, man. Tanks on the high ground. Bunker does go down. SCV's in here for the repair. Just getting absolutely massacred in the process. But the Marines coming from the backside. Getting barbecued up here, too. Dude, if ShoWTimE can do this, I am going to, like, bow down and worship at the altar of ShoWTimE. There's no way. Yeah, some tanks wandered back. Colossus don't like seeing that at all. The Contain is on. ShoWTimE's army's at 34 supplies. Trying to be cute with the Warp Prism. That's not working out either. ShoWTimE is going to fight this to the end, but that is the end. Good game, and Special does end up taking game number 3 here. He's only 1 game away. Dang it. Numbers are hard. He's only 1 game away from beating ShoWTimE in this best of 5 and moving on in WCS Spring. What an absolutely impressive performance there. His proxy barracks gets found. It does literally nothing for him, and yet the 2-base timing attack, Marines tanks, shows up, gets the bunkers down. Liberator's in the mix there too. ShoWTimE's not quite ready with the Colossus yet. And he's forced to tap out after, again, trying to base raise, trying to get something done on this side of the map, but it's just not enough. Resources lost, 6,700 for ShoWTimE and 3,900 for Special. I mean, look at that. 28 Marines and a tank went down, and that's pretty much it. Some SCVs died in self-defense, but otherwise, not a whole lot died there for Special, which is just a good sign of a good Terran versus Protoss. So that game is done. Let's come back with game at number 4. Going to be a doozy. Can we force a game number 5? Or is this a quick 3-1 in this best of 5? Don't know. Stick with me. We will find out together. Game 4 is on Automaton. Left side Special, right side ShoWTimE. But what has been different? Okay, so the top side-ish is ShoWTimE. Bottom side-ish is Special. And that has changed a little bit. Did you know there's merch for Falcon Paladin? Just search Shopify, SHOPIFY, and Falcon Paladin, and you will find jackets and hoodies and hats and mugs and pillows and all sorts of stuff, in case you're interested. All right, so Special is not proxying this time. It's a fairly long rush distance, and ShoWTimE is alert for that as well because of the last game, and, you know, the barracks are just coming up in this place, and just denying Reaper hop-ups is this gateway. And whoa, apparently there's been some lag spiking going on here. Special is not very happy about that. which is really annoying. We have to deal with that, but man, you think we could just do LAN events, but they're so worried about their software getting pirated, I guess is what it is. Anyway, not much happening here. The probe getting some scouts off, doesn't see anything that really worries him in any sense of a Protoss being worried. And probably going to be just a Reaper opening here. We have a long Reaper name ready to go, so as soon as that thing pops, I'm going to start reading, and we will hopefully not miss anything as the Nexus goes down for ShoWTimE on the other side of the map. Bam! Reaper's name is Turkey Butt. Turkey Butt was a turkey raised in captivity with a bunch of chickens. He was always discriminated against because he was a turkey. He also wasn't liked because he dreamt of escaping the chicken enclosure for greener pastures. He would devise clever ways to escape, but they'd always fail because he did not have the support of the chickens. One fateful day, he figured out the chicken farmers were building a machine to turn all the chickens and Turkey Butt to pies. He could not allow this to happen and rallied the chickens to make a daring escape, and as he was just about to escape with his chicken friends to the aforementioned greener pastures, Turkey Butt fell into a black hole which teleported him into Arcturus Mengsk's desk. I always have a hard time possessifying that word. Arcturus Mengsk was initially shocked by the sudden appearance of Turkey Butt, but then a thought crossed his mind. Since Canadian Thanksgiving was only 8.5 months away, a nice turkey dinner would be amazing. Knowing what Arcturus Mengsk was planning to do with him, Turkey Butt flew out of Mengsk's window straight down into a barracks where Dominion soldiers were suiting up into Reaper suits. Turkey Butt, deathly afraid of being caught, jumped into one of the Reaper suits, and ever since then, to avoid being Mengsk's dinner, he posed as a Reaper on the battlefield until today. We'll see if he survives or not. Turkey Butt, you got it in ya. Got it in you to survive. I don't know is the question here. Hellion follow-up. Out a special. Yeah, 2 Hellions here this time. Look at how defensive everybody is being. Probe scouting, Reaper defending, Adept defending. Nobody wants to screw up here. Special doesn't want a game 5 versus ShoWTimE. And vice versa. I mean, ShoWTimE doesn't want to get 3-1 here by Special either, so both players are playing a little bit cautiously. Possibly flashing back to game number 1, where that big attack came. He needs to be ready for it. More Hellions. Actually, are these the first 2? Nope, those are actually the second 2. We're going to get 4 total here. Adept versus Hellion, not really that favorable to either situation here. Both units do bonus damage to the other one, which is a weird situation. We don't see a whole lot of that, honestly. I guess Lings and Banelings would be one. Light versus light, bonus versus armored, Cyclones versus Immortals, things like that. But it's not that often we see that kind of a matchup here in StarCraft. The Adepts fighting, but man, there's a lot of Hellions present. The Phoenix are going to be worth their weight in gold here. In lifting and killing stuff. Turkey Butt, no, he doesn't care about the Reaper. He wants the Hellions, but they are fast. They are on 4 wheels. They are burning rubber as they run here. And you know what? Juking on out. There's a lift, and one ends up going down. That bonus versus light kills it very, very quickly. Turkey Butt gets the scout off and then gets absolutely obliterated by that Adept. Trying to get some Hellion attacks on in. 3 probes go down. Nothing too crazy, though. And by that, I mean we got 5 Hellions down, or 6 probes down. He's still alive, dang it. He's got 3 kills. Not too shabby. Phoenix flying on in. They've already made themselves known, though. Is this enough Marines and Cyclones to actually shut this down? Looks like it is. The Phoenix decide to hoof it on out of there. And by hoof, I mean fly, because they're very fast. And they have wings. Twilight Council coming on in. Cloak Banshee shows up. Oh, ShoWTimE, no. You can't lose because you weren't ready for a Cloak Banshee. Special's been doing those every game. Oh my gosh, there's the revelation. And the Banshee is going to die, but not before killing 6 probes there. That's brutal stuff, man. Worker count is in favor of Special, 42 to 38. And with the mules, he's in a really good position here. Look at that production tab. It is making Marines, making tanks, going for additional barracks here. Working on supply depots so as to not be supply blocked. Oracle present, more of a defensive Oracle than an offensive one, as it turns out. May turn out to be something else, but we're going to leave it alone for now. Marauders coming on in, going for those upgrades now, too. Probably going to start Stim. Yep, Stim and maybe concussive show. Combat Shield. Fair enough. Combat Shield makes a ton of sense there, too, making those Marines extra sticky ever since 2010. Was Combat Shield in the initial build of StarCraft 2? Their initial public release? I feel like it was. Could be wrong, but I feel like it was. Yeah, Phoenix do pick off an SCV, building a refinery, which is a minor victory. Stopping construction on a supply depot here, too. Minor victory as well. Remember when Adept Phoenix was all the rage in Legacy of the Void early on, and Terran had a really hard time with it? I remember those days. That was a lot of Adept Phoenix for Protoss, for sure. Third Nexus coming in from ShoWTimE up here at the 12 o'clock position-ish. Maybe like a 130 style position. Cloak Banshee. Shield batteries present. Somebody's learned their lesson. Oop, hang on. Maybe not over here you haven't. These probes are... Some probes are going to die. At least 2. And there's the Revelation, and there's the Phoenix. But yeah, 3 probes down. These are just sacrificial Banshees. They understand their role. And they're completely out there, but 4 more probes go down here. Specials up 42 to 49. Workers, Phoenix flying around trying to just find little edges in which to get stuff done. Special is gearing up for an attack, though. He's defending quite nicely. He's got a Widow Mine ready to wreck any Phoenix that fly too closely to the main base along the right side. 2 Widow Mines, actually, for extra setting up there. Third base does warp in for ShoWTimE, and I really don't see a sign of a third base here from Special. This feels like a 2-base attack. I'm a liar. There's a command center here at the front door. Just kidding. There's a third base under construction. Just I have Falcon blindness every once in a while. Templar Archives now coming in from ShoWTimE 2. Wants those Archons. Maybe gets that Storm if he has enough time for it. No, just Archons. This is all we're doing here today, no Storm. Which might be problematic considering the amount of bio that is present here. Yeah, here comes Special. He's got a tank. He's got a couple Cyclones. He has a bunch of Marines, Marauders, 4 medevacs in the sky here. It's looking really, really good. Army supply 86 to 56. There's a 30 army supply lead for Special right now. He is landing the third base behind it. Very nicely done. Stasis Ward does catch some of these units. That's a minor victory for ShoWTimE. Yeah, Cyclone's getting free shots here. Marauder's getting free shots here. Sending 1 unit ahead, so the Stasis only catches 1 unit is very nicely done. Revelation on these Widow Mines, but they're getting shots off anyway before they get rocked out of there. Nice kiting by Special, just kiting back and back and back and back. Tank manages to stay alive, picks up a kill in the process. And his units that have in Stasis are back in the party right now. 85 to 60 army supply. ShoWTimE is trying to get up here with these Zealots, but he doesn't have charge yet. Oh, he does have charge yet, but he canceled the charge. Oh, no, that's not good. You don't want to cancel that charge at all. Widow Mine's getting picked up. And Archon's getting some nice splash damage onto this bio. Isn't enough is the question of the day. Army supply 74 to 40. ShoWTimE warps in more Zealots to try to defend here. That warp-in is so very, very nice. As a Zerg player, even... I like how fast Zerglings get made, but man, the Zealots come in really, really fast. Trying to fight on in. Hasn't lost a base yet, which is really nice to see. Oracle is trying to do something on the other side of the map. Keep an eye on those for the time being. I mean, you guys try to pick off reinforcements, I suppose, as Special is trickling those across the map. Just kiting and kiting and kiting and kiting, and now there's a Liberator in the mix, which is problematic. And the Oracle might need to come back and save this thing. Third base seems to be abandoned entirely by ShoWTimE right now. Special doesn't seem interested in killing it. He wants to kill Army. Now he does pull back and go for the next and finish it off in just about 2 seconds there. No big deal. Upgrades here. +2 armor is done for ShoWTimE. +1/+1 is done for Special's infantry. Archon, nope, not going to happen. Nice force fields. Nice pickup, nice save. Pulling back out of there. Special really babysitting his units pretty effectively here. And this has just been one big Marine Marauder push with Liberator support and Medevacs in there too. Widow Mines making stuff happen. And officially it is a 3-basing Special versus a 2-basing ShoWTimE. This is where ShoWTimE found himself in the last game too. Depowering a Warp Gate and the Cybernetics Core having some serious flashbacks to game number 3 here. Is it gonna be enough for... No, we're snowballing. Everybody's going down and ShoWTimE taps out. Special is your winner in 3 games, 2-1 in our best of 5 Sunday series today. What an absolutely impressive display there. The micro at the end of the match was just nuts. APM on average was 344 for special throughout the entire time there. It was just a masterpiece of dancing. How many kills do some of these guys have? 3 kills on that Marauder. Marines, 1 kill there. 4 kills on that Marauder. 3 kills, 1 kill, 2 kills, 1 kill. Everybody getting kills here. Everybody paying for themselves. The Cyclone has 7 kills, which is dead impressive. Liberator with 3. Liberator with 1. And yeah, man, Cyclone really doing his job there for sure. This guy warping in Sentry getting destroyed. Is that it dying? Still has 14 HP. Maybe a Zealot getting rocked back through it as it's getting killed at the same time. But yeah, the warping was not enough. 92 to 30 army supply. Just the control on display here by Special was impressive as all get out. So Special wins a long macro game, and he wins a couple 2-base attacks while getting a 3rd base behind it for this one too. So, I mean, play like Special, I guess, is how this needs to be expressed. I hate saying it. I really do. I'm not a fan of the whole, just play like Serral style thing, but sometimes that's all it is. Woo! All right. Well, let's take a look at resources lost. I mean, it's a shellacking. 10,000 to 5,000 there. Bunch of Protoss stuff died. 45 Zealots went down. 31 Marines. 6 Marauders and a tank. 24 probes got killed, and only 2 SCVs got murdered. So, good one. And that's going to be it from me. I am tired. I'm ready for bed. Let's finish this thing. So, let's see. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and your Sunday series. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.